Welcome to Inside the Vandals, a weekly show covering Idaho men's and women's basketball. It's brought to you by the School of Journalism and Mass Media.
Welcome to Inside the Vandals. I'm Dylan Ladding.
And I'm Braden Kane.
What an exciting week last week. You know, you could start to call this a rivalry week.
You certainly can. Both the men and the women picking up wins right here at home in the rivalry game last Friday against Eastern. The women in particular avenging their loss that they had earlier this season in Cheney. They came up big with their win, extending their win streak and keeping it alive. But we'll talk about that later on in the show.
Yeah, and the men came away with an impressive win here that came down to the last shot. I sat down with Coach Don Verlin to discuss the matchup against Eastern, as well as looking forward to tonight's matchup against Montana State. I'm here with Coach Don Verlin. Coach, thanks for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, before we get into that Eastern Washington game, tell me about the atmosphere here. How nice was it having a crowd like that in a win?
Oh, it was awesome. I thought our crowd was as good as it's been since the Washington State game. I thought our students at the end of the court behind Eastern's basket was one of the reasons why Sir Washington missed those last free throws, and that makes it a lot of fun. That's what college basketball is all about. And I couldn't thank them enough. That's what we like to see, is that kind of atmosphere in the county spectrum.
Yeah, that was a great win against a rival. It went down to the last play, and it was a defensive stop. Take me through that last play, and what does that mean for your team?
Well, obviously it means a lot because we got the win, and I thought B.J. Blake did a good job of rotating on that play and making a play. You know, we talk about is players got to play and players got to make plays, and he obviously did that. They kind of isolated us there up at the top, and Bliznick driving to the basket, and I thought BJ did a great job of getting over and blocking that shot. It was a heck of a basketball play.
Yeah, early on in this game and throughout the game, Nate Shore had an amazing scoring night. He scored a career-high 23 points. So tell me a little bit about what is the importance of having a player like him step up and take some of the scoring burden when some other players are struggling to get into rhythm?
Well, it's really important. We felt like we had a mismatch in that situation. We could take Nate away from the basket. They had a big guy guarding him, and he was able to knock down some open shots. It's something that we've been stressing as coaches to Nate, is you got to be more aggressive, you got to look for your shot, and it just all came together the other night. He's a very good shooter. Probably the fans and the opponents were more surprised than his teammates and the coaches, because we see him do that all the time in practice, and we all had smiles on our face that he did in the game the other night.
Yeah. So let's change gears a little bit, and you guys face off against Montana State tonight. What do they do so well? They're a bit of an up and down team. They started off 4-0, but what do they do so well that makes them so dangerous?
Well, first of all, they're very well coached. Coach Fish does a great job. They've got two outstanding guards, in Harold Frey and Tyler Hall. As good as there is in the conference as far as a tandem. Frey, I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce his name, but he can score off the bounce. He can score from beyond the arc. He's deceptively quick, and he does a good job of getting his teammates open shots. Hall can score it from anywhere, and he's probably the best pure scorer in our conference. He's got great size. Again, he's a guy who can score it from three. He can post you up. He can drive his ball to the basket. I think in our game last year, he was 12 for 16 from the free throw line. He can beat you in a number of ways.
So this team, much like that Northern Colorado team that came up in the Catlin and beat you guys, can you take some stuff from that game defensively and incorporate it into this game and stop them that way?
Well, I don't think so, because we played so poorly against Northern Colorado that I hope I don't take anything from that game, to be honest with you. No, every team's different, and this has been a long week on the coaches, because Montana and Montana State, we haven't played yet. We've played some teams in this conference twice. We haven't played those guys yet. So the volume of film work we've had to do and those kind of things, and the preparation time has been a lot more than it would normally be at this time of year when you're playing somebody for the second time.
Yeah. So when you only play, it's like somebody one time, it's kind of harder to study film. So like Chaz Galata got open against you guys when you guys faced off against Northern Colorado. Excuse me. So is there any fear that a guy like Kelvin Blevins gets open, because you guys, they're so perimeter oriented with Tyler Hall and Harold Frey? So is there a fear that he gets open, kind of like Chaz did? He doesn't shoot as well, but
Oh, there's always a fear because, every guy out on that court has a Division I basketball scholarship, so they're all good players, and it's not something we're going to try to let them do. I can tell you that. What we're going to do is work like crazy on their two main guys and play as solid as we can on the other guys, because when Montana State's been good, when they've had great wins, is they've had a third scorer step up and have a big night, whether it be Newman, whoever it may be. That's when they've been most effective. So obviously we know that, but you have to start with first things first, and you have to start with Hall and Frey.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck tonight. We'll be right back with Inside the Vandals.
The road to Reno is here. March 5th, 2018, the Big Sky Conference will descend upon Reno, Nevada for the 2018 Big Sky Men's and Women's Basketball Championships. Go to roadtoreno.com to book tickets and accommodations for Big Sky Men's and Women's Basketball. The road to Reno is here. Be part of the thrill of Big Sky Men's and Women's Basketball and join the road to Reno.
The men riding a little bit of a win streak themselves. They're starting to peak at the right moment in this season.
They definitely are. The women continuing their great play they've had of late. 7 wins in a row now for them. I had the chance to sit down with Coach John Nilly to discuss the win in the rivalry game this last Friday, as well as the matchups coming up this week. Joined now by Coach John Newley. Coach, thank you for joining us as usual on the show.
Great to be here.
So we'll get right into it. Last Friday, you had the rivalry game against Eastern right here at home. Avenged your earlier loss you had in Cheney this season. Naira Solo had her best game of her career, her first double-double of her career, 12 points, 11 rebounds, as well as 2 blocks. Have you guys been pushing her a little bit harder in practice these last few weeks, knowing that her presence down low on the block on offense and defense can be huge when she plays at her full potential?
Well, I think she's been a work in progress for 5 years now, and you're seeing the fruits of her labor and her hard work that she's put in for all this time. And knowing that she's essential to our game plan, especially defensively, I think has really got her going and mentally ready to go every night.
Yep. So for the second game in a row, you guys had a team 19 assists. That's tied for your second highest on the season. The ball movement has been excellent on offense. I mean, how much of an impact does that improved ball movement have for you guys?
It's been huge. Our goal is to get 20 assists every game. That's what we try to get.
Okay.
And I think when we're right around that number, we're doing pretty well offensively. And, we have a very unselfish team. And we got a lot of weapons, a lot of people that can score. And they've just been moving the ball great. And, like we always say, if you have a good shot and somebody has a great shot, get it to that great shot.
Yep.
And that's what we've been doing.
So Jerry McCorkle, career high 6 threes in that game against Eastern. She's kind of like a secret weapon out there on the perimeter, with most of the attention being on Mike and Taylor. How much has she improved since joining this program 4 years ago?
She's done a great job. Again, put in a lot of work, a ton of work, especially on the perimeter. When she came here, she was an inside presence, and really I'd like to see her get back a little more to that, and scoring in the paint, to be honest with you. But I know what she's capable of doing on the perimeter. It was no surprise to see her do that for us as a coaching staff or her teammates. We all see her do it every day in practice. So, I'm happy for her that she can get out there and knock those shots down in game conditions, and, we want that to continue.
Coach, I've been bringing up defense quite a bit these last few weeks. I'm going to bring it up again. Another great defensive performance against Eastern. Take me through that game and how well you guys did defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Taylor Pierce can shoot the basketball without a doubt. Everybody knows that, but she's really emerged as a great one-on-one defender and a great team defender for us, and has been a big key for us. Everybody's flying around the basketball, everybody's talking and communicating, and probably in that first half, for sure, one of our best defensive performances for 20 minutes, and we just need to keep that kind of effort going.
So we'll transition now into tonight's game. You got Montana State on the road in Bozeman. They don't really have one outstanding offensive player on their team. 4 out of their 5 starters average double figures. How do you prepare for a team that's so well balanced on offense like that, with every person kind of being a threat on the floor?
Yeah, it's tough. They're very talented. They can shoot the basketball, like you said. They can drive it. They got a good inside presence. They got a couple of kids, the big kids that can finish inside.
Yep.
I think a very, very hard team to guard, without a doubt. And we're just going to have to bring it as a team and help each other and talk and communicate and play their personnel.
So the Bobcats are a very defensive-minded team. They're top 3 in the conference in opponent scoring average, as well as opponent's field goal percentage and three-point shooting percentage. Both of those are under 40% for them. How do you prepare for a team like that that's so well-rounded on defense, and they're a good defensive team?
Yeah, they are. I think, we got to get out, spread the floor. We're going to get them in transition game. I like to get up and down with them. I'd love to make it a high-scoring game. That's the kind we like. I think we're capable of doing that with them. We got a lot of weapons too, and as hard as they are to guard, I think we are going to be just as hard for them to guard.
Do you think that it's going to change your game plan offensively at all, knowing that you guys are kind of more of an outside shooting team, and it seems like they guard the perimeter pretty well?
No, we'll run our stuff like we always do. I think we are getting a good inside-out presence. Jerry can go inside. Isabel can get in there and do it. And now with Solo, is doing a great job right around the rim. So, I think we'll be inside-out this game.
So Montana State, 9-2 at home this year. Their only 2 losses come to Portland State, as well as top of the conference, Northern Colorado. It's never easy going into Bozeman. What kind of things are you telling your girls to prepare them for tough road trips like this one?
Well, it's going to be a great environment there. They're loud. The fans are very passionate. It's a great way to play. But we've already played at North Dakota too, and I'm going to reference North Dakota because that's the same kind of environment. Very loud, passionate fan base, and we've been through that already. We saw it at Ohio State. We saw it at North Dakota. We've been in some places this year already, and we'll talk about those places and how it went in those places and what we need to do to get a victory.
That's all the time we have for this week, Coach. Good luck tonight against Montana State. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be back with Inside the Vandals.
Game time! All we need!
The Vandal men are out to a great start in conference play as they fight for a Big Sky championship. Get in on the action with the Vandal 4-pack, featuring games against North Dakota, Southern Utah, Eastern Washington, and Montana for just $40. Get yours today at govandals.com/tickets or by calling 208-885-6466. And remember, go Vandals!
Do you need experience? Do you love music? Are you good at talking? Then you need to come down to the KUI student-operated radio station and volunteer to be a DJ, just like me.
Wow, what a great doubleheader it was last Friday for both teams. Both of them playing some of the best basketball they've played all season. And let's just hope the women can keep this win streak alive as well as the men.
Yeah, that was a very memorable Friday night. What happened at halftime, though, was even more memorable. Brittany Burt with the story.
Thanks, Braden. Thanks, Dylan. There's no question about the intensity of last Friday's games, but perhaps the most emotional moment of the evening was when high school student Chase Thompson walked right here onto center court.
This future Vandals life has been quite the battle, full of chemo and time spent at Sacred Heart Hospital in Spokane. The Wishing Star Foundation and the Vandal family surprised Chase with the news that his next 4 years of college will be completely paid for.
When my mom and parents went down there to court, I was like, what are they going to do to me? So I went out there, was very surprised, didn't know what was going on, I was just super surprised and happy that I was out there. It's been a tough process, you could say, but I lived through it. I stayed positive as much as I can. So I'm just grateful to be alive now. So.
In addition, the Wishing Star Foundation gave 2 tickets to Chase to attend the NCAA men's tournament, a dream come true. For Inside the Vandals, I'm Brittany Burt.
That was quite a moment at halftime this past Friday. Big thank you to the Wishing Star Foundation as well as the University of Idaho.
Up next, Idaho, Montana State, right here in the Cowan Spectrum. Chris King with the call. For Inside the Vandals, I'm Dylan Ladding.
And I'm Braden Kane.
And we'll see you here on Saturday.